Poverty is not only about how much money you have in your pocket, it is about how you think, how you act, and how you use time. I have seen people with almost nothing who created opportunities because their vision was strong, and I have seen people with good salaries who remain broke because their habits destroy them. Most people stay poor because they wait for change instead of creating change. They waste time, they fear risk, and they refuse to learn new skills. The real reason you are still poor is not the world around you. It is the choices you make every single day. Poverty begins long before money runs out. It begins in the mind. The way you think about money, opportunity, and yourself can either build your future or chain you to the past. A poor mindset says, I can't, while a wealthy mindset asks, how can I? The chains are not physical, they are mental, and many never escape them. One of the strongest chains is the belief that success depends only on luck. People wait for miracles, expecting life to change without changing themselves. But luck is not a strategy. Luck only visits those who are already moving, already working, already prepared. If you believe luck is the key, you will remain locked in place forever. Another chain is the fear of failure. Many people never try because they are afraid to fall. They say, what if I fail? But failure is not the chain. The fear of failure is the ones who grow rich in experience are those who are willing to fail again and again, learning each time until success comes. The mindset of excuses is also a prison. I was born poor. I have no support. My country is broken. These may be true, but they cannot be the reason you stay poor. Excuses give you comfort, but they also steal your power. As long as you keep blaming others, the chains remain locked. Some people are chained by comfort. They prefer an easy, predictable life, even if it means staying broke. Comfort feels safe, but it is also the enemy of growth. If you are not willing to be uncomfortable, to take risks, to stretch yourself, you will never break the chains of poverty. A poor mindset also sees money only as something to spend, not something to grow. When money arrives, it disappears into entertainment, status symbols, or wasteful habits. A wealthy mindset treats money as a tool, as a seed to plant, as energy to multiply. The chain is not income, it is how you think about income. Another dangerous mindset is waiting for the perfect time. People say, I'll start when I have more money, more skills, more support. That time never comes. The chain is hesitation, and hesitation steals opportunities. Those who act with what little they have break free sooner than those who keep waiting. Comparison is also a chain. Many waste time looking at what others have instead of building their own path. Envy creates bitterness, not progress. When you focus on someone else's life, you neglect your own. The wealthy mindset does not compare, it creates. The poor mindset complains and stays stuck. The chain of short-term thinking is one of the heaviest. Many people choose quick pleasure over long-term gain. They trade the future for today's comfort, never realizing the cost. True wealth is built over years, not days. If you cannot sacrifice now for later, the chains will remain around your future. Some people are locked by pride. They refuse to learn, to be corrected, or to start small. They think work is beneath them, or that they already know enough. But pride blocks growth. A humble mindset is open to learning, even from failure, even from someone younger. Pride chains you. Humility frees you. Debt thinking is another prison, not just financial debt, but mental debt. People borrow time, borrow energy, and borrow hope from others without creating their own. They live in survival mode, chasing every quick fix, but never building stability. A wealthy mindset builds, while a poor mindset only borrows. The mindset of fear keeps people trapped in the same routine. Fear says, stay where you are, do not try, do not risk. But fear is a liar. It keeps the chains tight so you never see what is possible. Freedom requires courage. The courage to step even when the ground looks uncertain. Another mindset that locks you is dependency. Some believe the government, their boss, or their family should solve their problems. But dependence keeps you small. Waiting for rescue means waiting forever. Freedom comes when you decide to own your life and stop expecting someone else to carry you. Negativity is also a strong chain. Poor thinkers always find reasons why something won't work. They kill ideas before they are born. They drag others down with their doubts. But negativity is not wisdom, it is poison. It destroys hope, and without hope, no progress can survive. The mindset of impatience is another chain. People want success quickly, and when it doesn't come, they give up. But nothing valuable grows instantly. A farmer does not abandon his crops after a week. Impatience is the chain that keeps people broke because they never wait long enough to harvest. Some are trapped by the mindset of limitation. They believe success is only for the lucky few, for people born rich or educated in the best schools. But success has nothing to do with where you start. It has everything to do with how you think and act. Limitation is a lie that chains your potential. Procrastination is also a chain. People say, tomorrow I will start. Tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. Opportunities pass by while they wait. The wealthy mindset acts now, even with fear, even with little. The poor mindset delays until the chance is gone forever. The chain of victimhood is heavy. People say, life is unfair, the world owes me. But life owes no one. Those who break free are the ones who take responsibility, even when life is unfair. Responsibility is the key that unlocks the chains of victimhood. Another chain is the belief that money alone equals wealth. But wealth is not just money, it is knowledge, health, relationships, and freedom. If your mindset only chases cash, you may gain money but lose life. True wealth requires balance, and that balance begins with how you think. So the real prison is not your job, your country, or your background. It is your mindset. The chains are invisible, but they are real. Break them and you open doors no one can close. Stay chained and you remain poor no matter how much money comes your way. Freedom starts in the mind, and once the mind is free, the future is limitless. Time is the most expensive currency you will ever own. Unlike money, once you spend time, you cannot earn it back. Yet most people trade their hours for nothing of value. They waste it on habits that don't grow them, conversations that drain them, and activities that keep them poor in the long run. The biggest trap is trading time for distractions. Hours disappear into endless scrolling, meaningless entertainment, or gossip that adds nothing to your future. These things feel harmless, but time is slipping through your fingers. At the end of the day, you have invested in nothing that brings growth or opportunity. Many people also trade time for comfort. They choose to sleep longer, relax more, and avoid challenges. Rest is important, but comfort without purpose is dangerous. If you spend your best years avoiding effort, the future will not give you comfort. It will give you regret. Some trade their time for quick money, but not long-term value. They accept jobs that only pay bills, without building skills or networks that can create future opportunities. This is survival, not growth. If all your time is used only to survive, you will stay in the same place forever. Trading time for nothing also happens when people procrastinate. They know what they should do, but they delay, telling themselves later. Later becomes never. Procrastination is the silent thief of dreams, stealing years one small delay at a time until you realize nothing meaningful has been built. Another way people waste time is chasing shortcuts. They look for get-rich-quick schemes, hoping to skip the hard work. But shortcuts usually lead to dead ends. Instead of building something real, they end up back where they started, only poorer. Time wasted on shortcuts is time stolen from real progress. Time is often traded for negativity. Complaining, arguing, and focusing on problems without seeking solutions drains energy and hours. Complaints never create wealth. They only reinforce poverty. Every moment spent in negativity is a moment lost that could have been used to build something better. Some people waste time by waiting. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect partner, the perfect idea. But life never gives perfect conditions. Those who wait endlessly trade time for nothing, while those who start with little build momentum and discover opportunities along the way. Trading time for nothing also happens in relationships. Surrounding yourself with people who don't inspire, challenge, or support you is costly. If you spend your time with the wrong crowd, you trade your future for their comfort. The people you spend time with either push you forward or chain you backward. Another silent thief is routine without purpose. Many people wake up, go to work, come home, and repeat without ever asking, where is this leading me? They trade years in exchange for survival, never realizing their time has been sold for nothing more than bills and temporary comfort. In business, trading time for nothing looks like working hard on the wrong things. You can be busy, but not productive. Endless meetings, repeated mistakes, and chasing distractions may keep you occupied, but they do not move you forward. Activity without progress is wasted time. Some people trade time for the approval of others. They spend their lives trying to impress people who don't matter, living by others' expectations instead of their own vision. At the end, they realize they built someone else's dream instead of their own. That is a tragic waste of life. A poor mindset often trades time for entertainment instead of education. Hours are spent consuming content that gives temporary pleasure, while books, courses, and mentors are ignored. Entertainment can relax you for a night, but education can free you for a lifetime. The choice decides your future. Trading time for nothing is dangerous because the loss is invisible. You don't feel the weight of wasted hours immediately, but over years, the gap becomes clear. Someone who invested their time wisely stands on solid ground, while the one who wasted time wonders why nothing changed. The truth is, everyone has 24 hours. The difference between the rich and the poor is not time, it is how that time is used. If you spend time planting seeds, the harvest will come. If you spend time doing nothing, you cannot be surprised when nothing grows. Time invested in building skills never returns empty. Skills multiply value. If you learn, practice, and grow, each hour compounds into greater opportunities. But if you avoid learning, if you only chase temporary pleasure, you are trading time for emptiness, and emptiness cannot pay you back. Trading time for nothing also kills momentum. Every day you waste makes it harder to start. Small daily actions, however, create unstoppable momentum. Just as a dripping faucet can fill a bucket, small consistent efforts can build a fortune. But if the faucet is turned off, nothing fills. Many people misunderstand money and time. They think money is more valuable. But the truth is, money can be lost and regained. Time cannot. When you waste money, you lose a resource. When you waste time, you lose a piece of life itself. That is a chain most people never break. The greatest tragedy is realizing too late that time was traded for nothing. Old age comes, opportunities close, and regret fills the heart. You cannot buy back wasted years. The chains of poverty are not just financial, they are built from wasted days that could have been invested wisely. Do not trade your time for nothing. Trade it for learning, for building, for relationships that matter, for work that multiplies value. Every day is a coin. Spend it with purpose or lose it forever. Success does not belong to the busiest. It belongs to those who invest their time wisely. Most people fail with money, not because they don't earn, but because they don't understand it. The biggest danger is not lack of money, it is blind spots in how we see money. When your vision is unclear, you make decisions that trap you in cycles of poverty, no matter how hard you work. One blind spot is believing money is only for spending. Many people see money as fuel for lifestyle, not as a seed for the future. When income rises, expenses rise with it. Instead of growing wealth, they grow debt. This mindset locks them in poverty, even when they earn more. Another blind spot is confusing income with wealth. You may earn a high salary, but if you spend everything, you are still poor. True wealth is not measured by what you make. It is measured by what you keep and how you grow it. Without this awareness, money slips through your hands. People also fall into the blind spot of chasing money without purpose. They work only for cash, not for skills, experience, or networks. The problem is, money can disappear overnight, but what you learn, who you know, and what you can do stays with you forever. Purpose creates wealth, not just paychecks. Another blind spot is ignoring the power of compounding. Small savings, small investments, small habits, they look unimportant today, but over time, they create massive results. Many people miss this truth, wasting little opportunities daily, only to realize years later how much they lost by not starting small. Debt is another blind spot. People believe debt is harmless as long as they can pay installments. But debt eats future income before it arrives. Instead of building assets, you are feeding banks. If all your money serves past decisions, you have no power to shape your future. One dangerous blind spot is believing that education ends with school. People stop learning after graduation and expect money to grow by itself. But the world changes fast. Without new skills and knowledge, your earning power shrinks every year. Money rewards learners, not the ones who stop. Another blind spot is relying only on one source of income. A job feels safe, but it is fragile. One decision by a company can erase your security. Wealthy thinkers build multiple streams, investments, businesses, skills, so that no single failure can break them. Relying on one source is a chain many never see. People also miss the blind spot of ignoring risk. They either fear all risk and never grow, or they take foolish risks without knowledge. Both are dangerous. The key is calculated risk, learning, preparing, and then acting. Money grows not by avoiding risk, but by managing it wisely. Lifestyle inflation is another blind spot. The moment income rises, people upgrade houses, cars, and gadgets. They look rich, but inside, they are broke. Wealth is not built by showing people you have money. It is built by using money quietly, strategically, without chasing appearances. Many underestimate the cost of wasted time with money. They think it's just a small expense, it doesn't matter. But small leaks sink ships. A few dollars wasted daily becomes thousands in a year. The blind spot is thinking small waste is harmless. It compounds into big loss. Another blind spot is ignoring health while chasing money. What is the use of wealth if your body collapses? Medical bills can destroy years of savings. Health is an investment, not a cost. The wealthy mindset protects health as carefully as it protects money, because both determine freedom. People also think money equals happiness. This blind spot pushes them to chase more and more, never satisfied. But happiness comes from purpose, contribution, and relationships. Money is only a tool. Without meaning, even millions will leave you feeling empty. Another blind spot is thinking poverty is permanent. People say, I was born poor, I'll stay poor. But poverty is not destiny, it is mindset. If you believe it is permanent, you stop trying. If you believe it can change, you start building. Money follows vision, not hopelessness. Many fail to see the blind spot of ignoring mentors. They think they know enough, or they fear asking questions. But someone else has already walked the road you want to take. Learning from them saves years of mistakes. Ignoring guidance is one of the most expensive blind spots. A common blind spot is thinking saving alone creates wealth. Saving protects you, but it cannot multiply. Inflation eats savings slowly. Investment grows wealth. Money sitting idle loses value. Money working in assets, businesses, or skills increases value. Saving is safety. Investing is freedom. Another blind spot is mistaking hard work for smart work. People believe more hours automatically means more money. But without direction, you can work hard your whole life and remain poor. Smart work means learning leverage, systems, and strategies. Hard work opens the door. Smart work keeps it open. People also miss the blind spot of ignoring generosity. Many think giving reduces wealth, but generosity builds networks, trust, and opportunities. Money flows to those who create value for others. A closed fist holds little, but an open hand attracts more. Giving is a growth strategy, not a loss. Fear of starting small is another blind spot. People wait for big capital, big opportunities, big chances. But most wealth begins with small steps. If you refuse to start small, you never start at all. Every empire you see today began with something tiny. The real problem is not lack of money. It is blind spots about money. If you do not change how you see it, you will keep repeating the same mistakes. Open your eyes. Treat money as a tool, a seed, and a responsibility. Once the blind spots are gone, the path to wealth becomes clear. One of the biggest traps that keeps people poor is the illusion of quick riches. They believe wealth should come fast, easy, and without struggle. But anything that comes too quickly often disappears just as quickly. Real success is not lightning, it is a slow fire that burns brighter with time. Everywhere you look, there are promises of instant wealth, schemes, scams, get-rich-quick programs. People fall for them because they do not want the journey. They only want the destination. But the truth is, shortcuts often cost more than the long road. You may lose not only money, but also years of progress. The illusion of quick riches blinds people to reality. They think the rich became successful overnight, but they only see the final chapter, not the hidden years of struggle. They call it luck, forgetting that luck itself favors those who work tirelessly behind the scenes for years. When you chase fast money, you sacrifice learning. You look for ways to earn without building skills. But wealth without skill is fragile. It collapses the moment circumstances change. The wealthy are not those who just made money fast, but those who built the ability to create money repeatedly. The danger of quick riches is that it kills patience. Once you believe money should come instantly, you cannot handle waiting. You jump from one scheme to another, constantly chasing speed, but never building depth. Patience, which is the true builder of wealth, disappears. Some people mistake gambling for wealth creation. They risk everything on luck, hoping for a sudden breakthrough. Even if they win once, it never lasts, because they built nothing real. Gambling creates stories, but it does not create stability. Wealth that lasts comes from discipline, not chance. The illusion of quick riches also breeds greed. When people believe money should come instantly, they are never satisfied. No matter how much they get, they want more faster. Greed blinds them to responsibility, leading to decisions that destroy families, reputations, and futures. Another danger is arrogance. Those who taste fast money often believe they are smarter than others. They think they discovered a secret no one else knows. But arrogance is fragile. When reality strikes, they fall harder than those who grew slowly and humbly. Quick riches also block creativity. Instead of solving problems and creating value, people only chase what seems easy. They avoid challenges because challenges take time. But the real opportunities in life come hidden inside problems. If you run from problems, you run from wealth. The illusion of quick riches keeps people poor because it distracts them. Instead of focusing on steady growth, they waste time chasing fantasies. By the time they realize the truth, years have passed, and others who move slowly and steadily are far ahead. In business, chasing fast profit destroys trust. Customers see when you only care about quick money. They may buy once, but they will not return. Trust takes years to build and only a moment to lose. A business built on quick profit is like a house built on sand. It cannot last. The illusion also damages relationships. People who chase quick riches often use others, making promises they cannot keep. Friends, family, and partners lose trust in them. In the end, they are left with nothing, not money, not respect, not loyalty. Another trap of quick riches is the false belief in shortcuts. People think someone else's formula will make them rich instantly. But copying success without building your own foundation never works. You can borrow ideas, but you cannot borrow character, persistence, or discipline. Quick riches also make people care less with money. Because it came fast, they believe it will always come fast again. They spend recklessly buying luxuries to prove success. But when the money disappears, they are left with nothing but regret and debt. The illusion of quick riches feeds on impatience. People want the fruit without planting the tree. But fruit without roots spoils quickly. True wealth comes from planting, watering, and waiting. It grows deep roots that make it stable even in storms. The media makes the illusion stronger. Headlines celebrate overnight millionaires, but never talk about the 10 years of work behind the scenes. People see the success, but not the scars, the failures, the lonely nights. They are fooled by the surface and never look deeper. Another danger is distraction from real goals. When you chase fast money, you abandon the steady path of building skills, businesses, or investments. Each new opportunity pulls you away from your foundation, leaving you scattered and empty-handed. The greatest cost of the illusion is wasted time. You could have spent those years building slowly, but instead you chased shadows. At the end, you realize the slow path would have made you richer, wiser, and freer. But the illusion stole your time. The truth is, wealth that lasts is never quick. It comes through effort, patience, mistakes, and endurance. The illusion of quick riches is shiny, but it is hollow. Real riches are quiet, steady, and built brick by brick. If you want to escape poverty, break free from this illusion. Stop chasing speed. Start building value. Learn, endure, invest, and grow. Fast money may excite you for a moment, but slow, steady wealth will reward you for a lifetime. Remember, easy come, easy go, but build strong, build slow, last forever. Fear is the most powerful manager many people have, but it is also the worst. When fear becomes your boss, every decision is made from panic, not purpose. Fear tells you where to go, what to avoid, and how small to dream. Instead of leading your life, you are being managed by a dictator called fear. The first thing fear does is shrink your vision. You may dream of starting a business, investing, or learning a new skill, but fear whispers, what if you fail? And so you settle for less. Fear becomes the reason why dreams remain dreams and why potential never becomes reality. When fear controls you, you trade opportunities for safety. You avoid risks, even when the risks are necessary for growth. You tell yourself you are being wise, but in truth, you are being controlled. Wisdom guides, but fear chains. One leads to progress, the other to paralysis. Fear also wastes time. Instead of acting, you spend hours thinking about what might go wrong. You replay failures in your mind until you are too tired to move. Fear does not only stop you from starting, it drains your energy, leaving you exhausted before you even try. When fear becomes your boss, you avoid rejection. You stop applying for jobs, stop pitching ideas, stop reaching out to people who could help. You choose silence over courage. And in doing so, you reject yourself before the world ever has the chance to. Fear convinces you that stability is safer than growth. You stay in jobs you hate, relationships that drain you, or environments that limit you because fear tells you it's better than nothing. But this safety is a trap. You may avoid discomfort, but you also avoid destiny. One of the worst lies fear tells you is that you are not ready. You wait for more money, more knowledge, more time, but readiness is not something you wait for. It is something you build along the way. Fear keeps you waiting while opportunity passes quietly by. Fear also kills innovation. The moment you think of a new idea, fear reminds you of every way it could fail. You stop before you start, and the world loses another invention, another business, another breakthrough. Fear does not just control you, it robs everyone who could have benefited from your courage. When fear is your boss, you learn to obey it without question. It tells you, don't try, and you obey. It says, stay small, and you obey. Slowly, you lose your voice, your confidence, and your freedom. Fear does not need chains. It uses your own obedience against you. Fear also keeps you poor. The greatest opportunities in life, business, investments, learning require risk. If you avoid risk, you avoid growth. Money rewards courage, not hesitation. While you stand frozen, someone else takes the chance, and their bravery becomes their wealth. Fear creates regret. At first, you think you are avoiding pain by staying safe. But years later, you look back and realize you avoided life. You regret the business you didn't start, the people you didn't meet, the skills you didn't learn. Fear saves you from failure today, but gives you regret tomorrow. When fear becomes your boss, it also damages relationships. You are too afraid to be honest, too afraid to take responsibility, too afraid to love deeply. Fear builds walls around you, and while you may feel safe inside, you are also alone. Freedom requires vulnerability, and fear will never allow it. Fear teaches bad habits. Instead of taking bold steps, you settle for distractions. You waste time on entertainment, excuses, and avoidance because facing fear feels too heavy. These habits build a false comfort, but in truth, they are symptoms of fear managing your life. Another danger of fear is that it magnifies failure. A small mistake becomes a disaster in your mind. One rejection feels like the end of the road. Fear exaggerates pain until it seems unbearable. But in reality, most failures are small and recoverable if you simply continue. Fear also blinds you to opportunity. While others see possibility, you see danger. While others act, you hesitate. Opportunity does not wait. It rewards the brave. By the time you gather courage, the door is already closed, and fear convinces you it was never meant for you. When fear is your boss, you are never free. You may have a job, a house, even money, but inside, you are trapped. True freedom is not financial, it is mental. It is the ability to make choices without being chained by fear. Until you take back control, success will always feel out of reach. Fear also keeps your potential hidden. You may be talented, creative, and capable, but the world never sees it because fear never lets you step forward. It locks your gifts inside where they rot unused. The saddest people in the world are not those without talent, but those whose talent was buried by fear. Fear disguises itself as logic. It says, be practical, be realistic, don't risk too much. But true logic knows the difference between risk and recklessness. Fear pretends to protect you, but its real goal is to limit you. Many people mistake fear for wisdom and remain stuck their whole lives. The only way to break free from fear as a boss is to face it as a teacher. Fear will always exist, but it does not have to lead. You can feel fear and act anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is refusing to let fear decide your future. If fear has been your boss, resign today. Take back control. Lead your life with courage, patience, and vision. Fear may always whisper, but it no longer has the right to command. When you stop obeying fear, you start walking toward freedom, and that freedom opens the door to true success. Every decision you make today is not only about you, it is about those who come after you. Too many people think their choices end with their own lives, but that is not true. Habits, mindsets, and actions ripple forward. Some choices lift generations, while others chain them to the same struggles. One of the most costly choices is neglecting education. When parents do not value learning, children inherit the same mindset. A family that rejects knowledge rejects growth. Over time, the gap widens between those who invested in education and those who ignored it. Ignorance compounds poverty for generations. Debt is another choice that traps families. Borrowing recklessly, living beyond means, and chasing luxuries create burdens that children often inherit. Instead of wealth, they inherit liabilities. A single decision to spend foolishly today can limit opportunities for your children tomorrow. The choice of laziness also travels down the line. Children observe more than they listen. If they see parents avoiding responsibility, making excuses, and settling for comfort, they copy the same habits. Laziness becomes a family tradition, passed silently from one generation to the next. Some choices cost generations because they are rooted in fear. Families that fear risk teach their children to avoid opportunity. They say, don't try, don't dream, don't step out. That fear becomes part of the family culture, locking generation after generation in the same small circle. Another destructive choice is substance abuse and addiction. One person's decision to escape through alcohol, drugs, or gambling often destroys the financial, emotional, and social stability of an entire family. The damage lasts long after the original decision maker is gone. The choice to neglect values also costs generations. Dishonesty, greed, and selfishness may bring quick gains, but they poison trust. Children who grow up watching corruption believe it is normal. Families that lose integrity lose their reputation, and without reputation, future opportunities vanish. Some choices limit generations because they waste time. Hours lost daily on distractions, gossip, and meaningless entertainment prevent growth. Children raised in that environment inherit the same patterns. A family that wastes time together wastes the future together. Choosing not to save or invest is another trap. Families that spend everything today leave nothing tomorrow. Wealthy families pass down assets. Poor families pass down struggles. The choice to ignore saving is not only poverty for one life, it is poverty for many lives ahead. Health choices also matter. Neglecting health today leads to medical crises tomorrow. Poor diets, no exercise, and careless habits shorten life and drain resources. Families then spend years paying for preventable problems. The decision not to care for your body is a cost your children will also carry. One costly choice is blaming others instead of taking responsibility. Families that constantly complain about the government, the economy, or other people raise children who believe they are powerless. That mindset locks them in chains, making them victims instead of builders. Another generational cost is the choice to ignore opportunities. When chances arise but fear or laziness blocks action, a window closes. Children then grow up without access to doors that could have been opened. One missed opportunity today can delay progress for decades. Violence and neglect within families also create scars that last. A decision to harm, abuse, or abandon creates emotional wounds that carry forward. Children repeat cycles of pain because no one chose to break them. Healing requires conscious choices, not repeating old ones. The choice to give up too early also costs generations. Many parents stop fighting for their dreams, and children grow up learning that quitting is normal. They inherit not just the struggle, but also the habit of surrendering when life gets hard. Choosing quick pleasure over long-term planning is another chain. Families that prioritize parties, luxuries, and appearances over discipline build nothing lasting. They look rich today, but remain poor tomorrow. Generations pay the price for moments of vanity. The choice of silence in the face of injustice also costs the future. Families that accept corruption, abuse, or dishonesty teach their children to accept the same. Change never happens because no one dared to speak or act. Fearful silence becomes inherited weakness. Another costly choice is isolation. Families that close themselves off from networks, mentors, and communities miss collective strength. Success is rarely built alone. A family that refuses to connect limits the opportunities that children will ever see. Neglecting discipline is also expensive. Parents who fail to teach consistency, responsibility, and respect raise children who struggle with the basics of life. Without discipline, dreams collapse and families repeat cycles of chaos. Discipline is not punishment, it is protection for the next generation. But choices can also free generations. Choosing education, discipline, and courage plants seeds of success. Choosing honesty, resilience, and hard work builds a foundation children can stand on. A single right choice can change the story of a family forever. So remember, your life is not just about you. Every choice is a message to the future. You can leave chains or you can leave keys. You can pass down struggle or you can pass down strength. The reward of wise choices is not only your success, but the freedom of generations to come. Freedom is something everyone desires, but very few truly find. Many believe freedom comes only from wealth, power, or status. Yet even rich people can live like prisoners, trapped by fear, debt, greed, or pride. The real freedom lies behind a hidden door, and most never search for it. The first hidden door to freedom is responsibility. When you stop blaming others and accept that your life is in your hands, you begin to unlock the chains. Responsibility feels heavy, but it is also the key. Without it, you are always waiting for someone else to rescue you. Another door is discipline. Many think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want. But that leads to chaos, not freedom. True freedom comes from self-control, the ability to direct your actions toward a vision instead of being controlled by impulses. Knowledge is also a hidden door. Ignorance is a prison that keeps generations trapped. When you learn, when you gain skills, when you open your mind, you unlock doors others cannot even see. Education does not just free you, it frees your children and their children too. The hidden door to freedom is not speed but patience. Those who chase quick results become slaves to disappointment. But those who understand that growth takes time remain steady. Patience frees you from frustration, and it allows you to enjoy the journey while you wait for results. Another door is courage. Fear imprisons millions of people every day. They never start businesses, never speak their ideas, never chase their dreams, because fear is their jailer. The hidden door to freedom is not the absence of fear. It is walking forward despite it. Forgiveness is also a door. Many people are trapped in the past, chained by anger and resentment. They waste their future, carrying old pain. Forgiveness does not excuse the wrong, but it frees you from the weight. Without it, you can never walk into tomorrow with peace. The hidden door to freedom is also hidden in humility. Arrogance blinds you to learning and keeps you locked in mistakes. Humility opens your eyes, allows you to accept correction, and keeps your mind growing. The humble may appear small, but they walk freer than the proud. Another hidden door is building value. Many chase money, but money without value is fragile. If you focus on solving problems, creating opportunities, and serving others, freedom follows. When you add value, people seek you out, and money becomes a servant instead of a master. Gratitude is also a hidden door. When you constantly focus on what you lack, you live in prison even if you have much. Gratitude shifts your perspective, showing you how rich you already are. That mindset frees you from endless comparison and gives you peace. The hidden door to freedom often looks like hard work. People avoid it, thinking it is slavery. But hard work in the right direction is not a chain, it is a key. Every hour of consistent effort breaks down walls of limitation and builds pathways to opportunity. Another hidden door is resilience. Life will knock you down again and again. Many stay on the ground, but resilience teaches you to rise each time. Every rise weakens the chains of defeat. The more you endure, the freer you become, because failure no longer controls you. Vision is also a door to freedom. Without vision, you live by accident, following the crowd, trapped in routines. But with vision, you choose your path. Vision pulls you forward, even when times are dark. It gives meaning to pain and direction to effort. The hidden door to freedom is often disguised as sacrifice. You give up comfort today to build tomorrow. Sacrifice feels painful, but it creates strength. The people who enjoy real freedom are those who were willing to sacrifice for it when others chose laziness. Another hidden door is honesty. Lies may seem like shortcuts, but they build prisons of mistrust. Honesty creates trust, and trust opens opportunities that money cannot buy. Without honesty, freedom is impossible because you are always hiding. The hidden door also lies in relationships. Surrounding yourself with the right people frees you, while the wrong people trap you. Friends who inspire, challenge, and push you forward open doors you cannot open alone. Freedom is not only about independence, it is about connection with the right people. Another key is financial wisdom. Freedom does not come from earning alone, but from managing what you earn. If money controls you, you are still a prisoner. But when you learn to control money, save, invest, multiply, you open a door to freedom that lasts. The hidden door to freedom is hidden in mindset. If you believe you are powerless, you remain chained. But if you believe you can change, opportunities appear. The same world looks different depending on your mindset. The mind is the prison, but it is also the master key. The final door is persistence. Most people quit before they find freedom. They stop digging just before striking gold. But persistence keeps you moving until the hidden door finally appears. Freedom belongs not to the talented, but to the consistent. Freedom is not found outside, it is built inside. The hidden door is not locked, it is waiting for you to open it with responsibility, discipline, courage, and persistence. Once you walk through, you will discover that the greatest wealth is not money, it is freedom itself. Escaping poverty is not about waiting for luck. It is about changing your mindset and your actions. If you keep doing the same things, you will keep getting the same results. Wealth is not created overnight, but it begins the moment you decide to think differently, to act differently, and to break the habits that keep you trapped. Do not blame your family, your country, or your past. The power to rise is already in your hands. If you want a different future, start building it today and keep building it until the world has no choice but to notice your success.